I don't know whether to worship at your feet or spank you.
Can it be both?
Okay.
You're so sick! I mean, I asked you to spank me, but I didn't think you would spank me! You're insane!
I did say it was going to be hard.
What did I get myself into? Okay, so this is Sibling Rivalry for 50 Shades Darker, although this is going to be a little different because I have not seen this film. I had no interest. I didn't even hear it was like a so bad it's good. I heard it's just a so bad it's bad. But he saw it and he wanted something out of it for his troubles.
Seeing this without being able to rant about it, that wasn't going to happen.
So he is going to explain to me what happens in the movie.
More likely what doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is everything!
Yeah, and I know nothing about this film at all. I don't know the books. I mean, I read some of the lines, you know, because they're funny, but I don't know what happens in it or anything. So I'm going to this pretty blind, or blindfolded, if you will. So
that would have improved things.
I was going to say, is that about the extent of the sex in this movie? I hear it's pretty softcore. Even the first one was pretty softcore.
It's really softcore. Like, disappointingly softcore. Okay, let me just start at the beginning, because a number of people are like, where the hell would you see 50 Shades Darker when John Wick and the Lego Batman movie? And it's like, okay, so my wife and I have this thing that we do where every Valentine's Day we want to see something really off and weird and, you know, batshit. So
my wife and I went to a haunted house this Valentine's Day, by the way,
yeah.
So we kind of have the same thing.
So she read the books, and she declared it the comedy hit of the year. You know, she gave me the book, and I started reading random passages. I'm like, this is hilarious. I mean, it's awful, it's garbage, but it's hilarious.
And I have read several parts in different voices at con.
Yes, at the con circuit. Yeah, all of us at the con circuit read bits and book from.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like we think the books are good. No, they're awful. Like
beautifully
really
awful, though. Very enjoyably, entertainingly awful.
So we saw the first film and thought it was going to be hilariously awful. And it was mostly just awful. The problem with the first one was it looked like a demo reel for all these filmmakers, everybody involved. Like, they all wanted to have careers
They wanted to have
afterwards.
jobs after that movie. They didn't want to be sunk by it.
It was like they were trying to make the movie good-ish, which you can't do because it's awful. It's garbage. So
looked nice, though. Had nice cinematography.
So next time we saw Deadpool, and that was my wife declared it the most amazing Valentine's Day movie ever. Like, we both loved it, and we're just like, okay, well, so then it was like, well, what are we going to do next? This year, we decided, she told me that the author didn't like the original film of 50 Shades of Grey. It was like, no, it's not my vision. And I'm like, well, of course not, because they were trying to make it good. So she's like, well, the author really wants to be more involved. And, like, we both had our fingers crossed. We're like, this gave us hope. Like
yes! The narration will be in there.
Yeah,
because that's what makes it so funny.
This is going to be batshit. Like, totally batshit. So, like, we got tickets, and we're like, all right, like, this is going to be what we were waiting for. And it is not. Oh my God.
It was just boring.
God! I can't even, I'm like trying to put my thoughts into, let me put it this way. Some people might be out there trying to tell you, oh no, it's so bad it's good. Like, it's just so incomprehensible that, like, it's funny. If anybody tells you that, play the Tom and Jerry clip. Do it.
Don't you believe it?
That. Don't believe it. Don't go back away from that person and find an adult. Preferably a cop. They need to be arrested.
This is definitely not an adult movie.
No, this is not so bad it's good. This is so bad, so dull, you will fall asleep.
All right, so tell me about it.
Christ. Okay,
it starts with Christ? Because that'd be an amazing opening. Christ was kinky.
He was
totally into the masochist thing.
Oh, he was. They get nuns involved too. We get nun porn. It's awesome. No, that would have been amazing. No, it opens up. First off, there's no concept of time. So I thought it was supposed to be like months later. According to my wife, she's like, no, in the book, this is like all happens within like 6 weeks, the whole trilogy. Can you believe that?
What?
Yeah. So it's later, and like Anastasia Steele.
That's right.
Yeah, that's her name.
Sorry, I had to brush up on these stupid names.
She's on her own. It's like the Mary Tyler Moore show. We're gonna make it after all. She like is just doing whatever. She's working at some publishing firm, and like Christian Grey keeps trying to apologize, and so keeps sending her shit. Including one of my favorites, he sends like 1,000,000 flowers, it's like 1,000 lilies or something, and she's like, like opens up the trash can to throw it away, and she's like, no.
What is so special about this woman? I mean, like...
Oh, wait for it. What is so special about her? I don't know, but apparently she's the subject of an art show. Because, yeah.
How to bite your lip.
Yes. Actually, no, there's like literally pictures of her. She's like, like, it's like all these, like, like, it's like...
Puts the art world on its toes, like, what is going on here? I am intrigued.
No, they're all bullshit magazine ads. You know those bad magazine ads where you see for, like, some perfume or like, some fashion accessory? It's always, like, the same chick who needs to eat, like, a grain of rice to, like, maintain herself. Like, ooh, hee, ha, ha, I'm natural. Like, it's all that. And she walks in, and it's, like, one of the few scenes that... I think Dakota Johnson acts well because she walks in, takes one look at this, and she's like, Jesus Christ! Like, holy shit! And it's like her friend from the first one who got friend-zoned instantly, and he's just like, yeah, like, do you like it? She's like, why didn't you tell me? Because you would have said no. And she's like, hell yeah, I would have said no. And I'm like,
illegal.
I'm like, okay, so, well, wouldn't you know it? So these two are talking. 5 seconds later, somebody comes in and is like, hey, I wanted to let you know, somebody bought all the paintings.
I wonder who.
Who? I know. He's sitting there like, wow, who could this be? Like, that's awesome. They all sold. And then Christian Grey walks in. He's like, oh. Like, you couldn't figure this out?
Well, and let's be honest, who the hell would buy those?
Nobody in the natural, sane world. But it's because it's Anastasia Steele, and there's something about that girl. I don't know what, but...
Even people that have, like, the paintings with, like, the big eyes and stuff, they would look at those and just be like, no, this is stupid.
Oh, my God.
This is kitsch.
So he comes in, and he's just... And she's just like, why'd you buy all the paintings, bitch? Like, what is up with this? He's like, I don't like other people gawking at you. Not creepy at all.
Well, what's even gawking? It sounds like, because it's just faces and her like,
Yeah.
you know, she's not naked or anything, right?
No, she's not. He's seen plenty more of her.
Yeah, what?
So, or at least plenty that they allowed us to see, which means just some TNA.
How dare you be shot like you're a Double McGum commercial?
Oh my God. So eventually they end up getting back together. And then, get this, so she's working at a publishing firm of some sort. And
not the one that makes 50 Shades of Grey, I'm assuming.
No.
Maybe that's going to be in the third book at the end. It's like, you know,
actually, that'd be hilarious.
And the Lord of the Rings.
She writes the book.
Yeah.
For me. She's like, I'm running this publishing firm now. I'm going to write my own book, 50 Shades of Grey.
And she just does it. It's like, not only am I going to, you know, get my revenge on you, I'm going to write the worst books ever about you. And everyone's going to have read it.
So she works for this boss, who I can only describe as a cross between John Constantine and a serial rapist. I literally just, like, from the get-go, I just started calling him Rapey McGee. Because, like, he's sitting there. First off, he's sitting there just staring at Anna Steele like, oh yeah. Like, the whole time, she, like, he basically is like, hey, why don't you come on this, like, this business trip? Like, you should totally come with. Like, we'll go alone.
He sounds
together.
like the toady from Storks. Hey, come on, we can go here. It'll be amazing, bro.
Yeah, it's creepy as fuck. And the creepy thing is, he's doing this in front of HR. HR is, like, right there. And, like, he keeps looking at HR like, what? Like, what are you looking at?
Let's be honest with who our president is now. Does any of this surprise?
No, I guess it's Trump's America. Anything else. But I'm just like, who does this in front of HR? Like, he's not even hiding it. So then she walks away. HR is still there, and Anna Steele walks away. It's just like, yeah, dead ass. And HR is just like, oh, you. Like, I'm just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. So this is going on. I'm
assuming this is the most erotic part of the film, too.
Oh, no. There's sex scenes, and it gets wild, man. It gets intense. Do you want to know what they do? They bring in a spreader bar. Ooh! That's it. Like, there's like, that is hard. There's like 2 scenes that get like it's softcore, but I'm like, it's as hardcore as it gets in this film. One is the spreader bar, which is hilarious because it's like the 4th sex scene in there. That, by the way, you have to wait like 20 minutes between each sex scene. This is not like, oh, well, at least I'm gonna get plenty of sex. It is a fucking slog to get there.
Oh yeah, like the first film too.
20 minutes of
I hear the books are like that too.
Oh,
like
my
there's
God.
barely any sex in it.
Yeah, but at least you have her batshit narration, which
Yeah.
is hilarious. You don't get that here. So you've got nothing. So you got 20-minute slogs of just her and Christian Grey or Rapey McGee all talking to each other.
You know, we really shouldn't put past that Rapey McGee would be a name in here. The author didn't think of it.
She's probably kicking it.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
she's
that would have been
kicking herself.
great.
God damn it! Rapey McGee, that would have been perfect. Only it would have been like Ray, R-A-Y,
P,
and then McGee. Ray P. McGee. Yeah, so that's all it is. And then so one sex scene, like they finally start to like get intense, and he like whips out like this leg spreader bar.
With a whip? Or no?
No. There's
Get
no,
the leg, right? Yeah.
No, I didn't see any whips. The hardest core it gets in that sort of way is when she sneaks into his little like den of debauchery again and just sees all the stuff hanging on the wall. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, you know what? He's all talk. This shit's just dusty.
Yeah.
This shit
he
is
like
dusty.
never picks
He
it
like
up.
does this to intimidate the chick to be like, yeah, I'm hardcore. I'm in some dark shit.
Well,
I'm
if her-
no, he's not.
if her
there is
biggest
nothing
thing
he does in this
is, like-
series outside of psychological manipulation. That's it. The psychological manipulation side of this is the darkest side he's got. That is it. Like, everything you see is the softest core. Like, when he's just like, I'm 50 Shades fucked up, and I'm into some dark shit, and I want to do this darker 50 Shades darker bullshit. Like, I'm thinking that, I'm like, I better see some, like, shibari shit. I want to see, like, strung up 18 different ways, like, Spider-Man was involved. I want to see some
Spider bondage.
Yeah. I want to see some hot wax. I want to see something like, he brings out
Rob.
a nipple clamp.
Rob, the spanking was too much. I mean,
I know,
think
that
you're
was
forgetting. He did it too hard, and that was the point where the movie had to stop.
brings-
Like, whoa, people in the audience, I'm sorry. That spanking was really hard.
He brings out a nipple clamp. And I'm just like, okay, really? Like, we're gonna do this? All right, like, finally, let's see some dark. He puts it on her finger because she's like, what's? She's like, what's that? He's like, it's a nipple clamp. Now, put this on your finger, and she's like, oh. He's like, no. He's like, imagine that on your nipples. And I'm just like, imagine nothing. Put it on her nipple if that's. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then he pulls it off, and she's like, and he's just like, yeah, it hurts where it's coming off. I'm like, what the? I'm like,
Was it good for you? Finger porn? This is like S&M.
it literally was finger porn.
Yeah, this is like S&M KJ, like kindergarten.
Yeah, this is kindergarten BDSM.
Even kindergartners would be watching this, just like, do something.
So he whips out the spreader bar, and like clams.
I will
yeah.
be honest. I'm not brushed up. I'm gonna say that's just something you put like. You spread your legs.
Yeah,
or something,
you spread your legs or your arms or both, like
Okay,
almost
it's
like you're on
the
the
thing where,
rack or
okay,
something.
yeah.
So
That
like,
might be
he
our
puts
thumbnail,
her-
by the way. It's just us
Yeah,
going like this.
he puts her legs in that, and that may be the funniest moment in all of the sexcapades they have.
Oh
because-
no, that finger clamp is pretty funny.
No, the finger clamp is right, but what makes this
That's like E.T. porn.
puts-
Oh, harder, Elliot.
He's like, this is a spreader bar. It's like, clamp, one leg, clamp, other leg. And she's like, oh. He's like, oh, yeah. And he goes like flips her over like a fucking waffle iron. Like, doing waffles is ready. Like a Belgian waffle. Like, thunk, like an omelet or for a
Please,
pancake.
a Belgian waif.
Yeah, a Belgian waffle. Like, he's just like, shook. And like, I lost my shit. They were like,
Flip me over, I'm done.
yeah. There were like 2 middle-aged ladies sitting next to me. My wife was on my
I
left.
just imagine the whole audience was middle-aged
and
ladies.
mostly. I was one of maybe 8 guys there, and like I just started laughing, and then they turned to me and started laughing, like just laughing at me as I'm laughing at this, because I'm like, oh, come on. So that's as hardcore as it gets in the middle. The rest is like, you've seen harder core shit in Kentucky Fried Movie. Catholic high school girls in trouble. Go put that 5-minute sketch on and you'll see harder core shit. They even do the shower.
Check it out.
They do the shower scene. They practically do the thing where it's like her tits up against the glass. Like, they do that same bit in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my favorite, like, there's this incomprehensible scene where he's just like, you can't touch me here. You can't touch it. And she's so dumb, she can't figure out where not to touch it, because I figured it out right away. It's like, well, how about where all the cigarette burn scars are? Like, are you that dense? So
You don't get it. I'm a masochist. It hurts.
So, well, this goes back, like, it opens up with some child abuse scene where I guess it was like his dad or uncle or somebody who's just like, there you are, you little shit. I'm gonna, like, it has a cigarette, it's like, and I'm just like, 50 Shades of Grey? Like, what? So
Hot.
Okay, so
Literally hot. With the
no,
burns.
that was a tease, because for a second I'm like, all right, that was fucked up. Let's see what his backstory is. You get hardly anything, except for the fact that he's like, you can't touch me here. So she's like, well, we need to establish trust, because now she's back into it, even though I didn't see them sign another fucking contract.
Even that fucking went on forever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, good lord, it's like
So-
50 Shades of paperwork.
So she takes it back. It's like, you need to show me that. We need to establish trust. It's like, okay, you want trust?
What
You want me
happened to
show
break
you?
the trust before? I mean, I know he's like a manipulative dick, but I mean, by Jesus, he's going through all this goddamn paperwork, like no sex is going on. For whatever dumbass reason, he wants this woman. And it's like he's going through
You want to see
so much.
You want to see where to touch me? He like grabs her lipstick. He's like, all right, here we go. He's like, here, off limits.
I feel violated right now.
Everywhere else is fine. And like, and once again, I'm like, how dumb is she? You could have just figured that out. Yeah. Now, what makes this even more funny is
Rob, I just want to
30
say
minutes
you can
later.
no, you can never do that again unless we go through a contract and we write in great detail.
Hey, that
what we
scene
can
at
and
least
can't
I thought
do.
was funny in the original. They got nothing like that here. No, what's even funnier is they go for like 30 minutes of screen time. 30 minutes! How long is that in film time? 4 days?
Okay.
Yeah, so, and like you completely kind of forgot about that scene. They get back for like a party or something and for like doing all this other shit. And they're taking the shower and he's still got the lipstick on him. I'm like, really?
What?
He never took the lipstick off? Like, he's like,
Man, that guy must reek.
I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm just like, and he's like, next time I'm gonna use permanent marker. So I'm gonna tattoo it actually, this big square.
Like
and say,
Memento.
avoid.
Do not touch.
Do not. So the other scene that gets, it's not even hardcore. It's like, so he whips out, like before they're gonna go to some charity ball that his parents are putting on. And this is some weird thing he's got where he's like, anytime you're in front of my parents, we gotta do something weird, kinky, and sexual. Because I'm gonna kind of humiliate you in front of my parents or in public, but no one else is gonna know, and I'm like, whatever. So he whips out, she's like all in like this sexy lingerie, and he like whips out some...
Wait, in front of the parents?
No, not in front.
I was gonna say
That would have been something.
Pretty
That would
well
have been
done it.
amazing. I'm describing the most interesting scenes in the movie.
I feel like we're writing a more interesting movie just through the misunderstandings, because it's like, wow, like that would be humiliating,
Wouldn't it?
and strange, and like
No,
just a different world. I was
this.
like, no, I'm not doing
So
that.
he whips out these Benoit balls, clackety clack, and that was about maybe one of the only funny lines that I'm just like, okay, that was kind of funny. She's like, that ain't going up my pooper, or something like that.
What?
And
Is that a real line?
It was like, she's like, I think it was just like, that ain't going up my butt. And he just looks at her like, it's not going up your butt, honey.
Tell me he says it with that voice. It ain't going up your butt, honey.
I wish. Giving this guy a Brooklyn accent, wouldn't he? Oh, he ain't going up there, honey. Trust me. That would have made it less creepier, because he's actually Irish, and I give him this much credit. He's an incredible actor. I've actually seen him in a couple other things, and he does a great American accent. I never would have known he was Irish. A lot of times you get these actors and you're like,
50 Shades of Picard.
yeah, it's like you can tell they're like, no, they're faking an American accent. Like this guy, I'm like, wow, that was solid, because I honestly
I
just
never
thought he
picked
would
it
have been
up, yeah.
American. So he's just, but yeah, that would have been even. Oh, it ain't going up there, honey. Like, so she's like, oh, and he's like, bend over, and so she bends over, and I'm like, well, this will be erotic anyway. Again, they don't show anything. It is done with all of the titillating eroticism of like Nurse Ratched giving you an enema in the
It sounds like
emergency room.
all of this, I mean, like the core audience is tough. It's just either people getting a laugh out of it or grandmas discovering, you know, like what kinky stuff is. But
it
you
was.
didn't want to go
I
too
would
far.
say in the screening I saw was 75% grandma or the soccer moms discovering this shit for the first time. Because before that scene, the weirdest thing is there were these middle-aged ladies like next to me. Before any time a sex scene was gonna happen, literally they would be like back here like this, and all of a sudden they'd be like, I'm not making this up. Those would literally, they were like, and I would hear like, oh yeah, it's coming. And I'm like, I don't think that's the only thing coming, honey.
I feel like it's something where it's like, I mean, whatever people want to do, you know, it's fine. But there is a sense where it's like, I think they feel like they're being like really risque and dangerous and kind of naughty.
And I'm,
you know, watching
I'm
it,
just
but
sitting, I'm watching these women just like, and I'm just like,
you know what it's like? I feel like if like at some point they wanted to go to like the next step and actually like go to like one of these things where they do this kind of stuff, like they would just be horrified to see what they really do. Because
I guess
like,
maybe what it is just being a guy. I figure like if I were in a porn theater, I would just do my business. I don't know if I'd be like, but like, you see what I'm saying?
I don't think the women can Paul Rubens it.
No, but I just the way they were so animated about it. So that scene comes up and he's like, all right, bend over, and like. It is like there's nothing hot about it. There's nothing erotic about it. There's nothing hardcore about it. It is literally like that scene in A Clockwork Orange where Alex goes to jail. And the British guard's like, all right, bend over. And, like, they take the flashlight and, like, looking up his ass. And, like, he does the same thing. He, like, moves her panties aside and you just see, like, these balls, like... Or only it's shot in such a way where I'm like, I'm not convinced he inserted them. I am convinced they just did, like, a trick of force perspective where he's, like, just putting it on the other side of her ass, like a cheap magic trick.
Sure,
yeah. So he's, like, sticking it in, but, like, the way he's looking at it, it's, like, so clinical. It's like... Ooh, it's like he's looking through a telescope. Ooh,
It's like one of those where her butt is here and you're going like this, like, oh, they're going in. Look, they're going in. Is it like that?
Yeah, and he's looking through a telescope. It's like, ooh, I can see Uranus. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Wait. A telescope looking at her?
No, it's like he's looking through a telescope, like looking at her ass, because he's like, like,
what?
yeah.
Why does he have a telescope looking at her ass?
He doesn't have it. It's like he's looking through a telescope because he's like, he's got her bent over and he does this thing where, like, imagine that your face is just her ass, which is really easy to do. No, it's like he just comes up. He's like, and he's just like,
do that to the camera. I want you to see.
I can't even. He's just like, and he's like. And I'm just like, what do you expect to see? Like, what? I don't know. It is just so, it's like, it was so non-erotic. It was just more like, I think you want, you know what it looked like? It looked like a doctor about ready to perform an autopsy or scientific experiments. I think he's a serial killer. He's like, and I'll make the first incision there.
And or science.
And there, yeah, it just, oh God, it was weird. The plot, okay, nothing happens. Basically, it is mostly scenes of them talking. And then eventually, some crazy chick shows up who's got like a wrist slit and is stalking Anna. And she's just like, he was mine originally. It's like, you can't satisfy him, like, because I was... And they find out that, like, she was just some sub, basically, that went nuts. And whether he turned her nuts or she was just nuts, I have no idea. But she follows him, and then at some point, she shows up at Anna's apartment, and Christian Grey's waiting downstairs, and like she pulls out a gun, and she's like, I don't know, like the whole audience just kind of froze for a second, like, really? And then everybody just settled back into boredom, like, this is not gonna go anywhere. And she's like, yeah, that's right, like, he's mine now. And Anna's like, just stay calm, and out of fucking nowhere, bang! Like, this gunshot explodes. I swear to God, like, all of us were just like, whoosh, like, straight up, like, what the fuck? And it was the only moment that the whole audience just, like, woke up, we're like, okay, we're here. Like, what's going on? Like, I literally was falling asleep till that gunshot happened. And then Christian Grey walks in, and basically, oh, fuck it. There's gonna be no spoiler corner. I'm gonna give it away because nothing happens. Christian Grey walks in and is just like, he's like, put the gun down, and does like his whatever Christian Grey thing, and then she puts it down, and then she kneels before Christian Grey, and then I don't know, this was an
She
inexplicable...
showed him.
Yeah, this is an inexplicable scene because, like, everybody has a different interpretation, but he, like, Anna's
Ooh,
like...
it's an open story.
Yeah,
open to
yeah.
interpretation.
Anna's like, Christian, he's like, go, just go. And Anna's like, but Christian, and he's like, for once in your life, just do as you're told. And, like, she, like, goes... runs away in this extended scene. Like, she wanders around the city of Seattle for what felt like 30 minutes of just her walking around in the rain. And I'm like, oh my God, will this scene end? And, like, my wife and I were talking about it afterwards because I'm like, okay, on the one hand, yes, she always does what she's told because she doesn't have a mind of her own,
I was
so
gonna
it's a
say,
silly
isn't
line.
that kind of like what the whole thing was about?
But on the other hand, she's all pissed off about it now. Like, that's it. I draw the line there. You do not tell me what to do, mister. And then 10 seconds later, he tells her what to do, and she does it. But I'm like, wait, why there? I was talking to my
Why
wife,
is the
I'm like...
girlfriend coming in with the slit wrist and everything saying, bitch, you don't know what you're getting yourself into? And it's like, you know, that's okay, but you know what? You don't tell me what to do.
Well, that's what bothered me
That's
because...
what a friggin' stuff is, isn't it?
Yeah, I talked to my wife about it, and I'm just like, okay, honey, like... And this could go either way, honey. I feel like this is the same, but if for some reason there was some nut pointing a gun at you, and I came in and saved the day, I feel like I would get the pass to say whatever I needed to get you out of there in that moment. And I feel like even if it were the reverse, if somehow you saved my ass, if some guy or chick had a gun
I don't
pointed
care.
at me,
You tell me what to do. I don't care if you saved my life. You don't tell me what to do.
she agreed with me too. She's like, I don't care what happens in that moment. It's like there were guns involved. It's like, fuck whatever is said in the... And I'm like, okay, just want to make sure we were clear on that because that scene made no sense to me.
If anything in that movie, you're like, you know, honey, if this happened to us, would we do this? Like, if the answer to any of that is yes, your relationship is probably not in a good place.
Now, even crazier on the crazy train, Christian Grey tells Anna, I don't like this guy, this boss of yours. I think he's bad news.
Well, wait. Well, what happens to the chick with the gun?
Oh, nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Oh, he's just
he says,
like,
go away. What happens to her?
Basically, after she wanders around and then meets Christian Grey up again, she says, well, what happened to her? He's like, oh, I had her committed.
That's boring.
Yeah, no, you never see her again. At least not in this movie.
There's probably more
There's still
bondage
30
at the institute she sent to.
Yeah,
with the straight jackets and stuff.
No, there's 30. I would rather. You know what? I want to see her story over this, the crazy chick story.
Well, no, because that was the
There's
one
30
thing,
more minutes of movie after that.
In the trailer, that was the one thing I was like, you know, ooh. Like, there's someone with a gun, bang, which I already knew nobody was going to get shot, but it's, you know, it's just for the trailer,
it's all resolved. So then Rapey McGee, basically, like, the first time Christian meets Rapey McGee, like, I think they're at a bar or something, and all of a sudden Christian walks in while Rapey McGee's talking to Anna, and all of a sudden, like, Christian's like, hey, yeah, I'm the boyfriend. Shakes Rapey McGee's hand, and I'm just like, all right, that's weird. But then again, it's so obvious to us as filmgoers that this is Rapey McGee that I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't look like Christian being a jagoff, which is how it should look in any normal story. Instead, it looks like, well, Christian's the smart one here because he sees that this guy's probably a fucking serial rapist. So she keeps getting invited on all these business trips by Rapey McGee, and she's like, well, I'm going. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, end of story. And she's like, well, we'll discuss this later. It's literally like watching a couple of your friends fight. Like, they're in that stage in a relationship where they're being bitches to each other.
Except they're texting.
Now, imagine just watching that for 20... You know, you're stuck in a car with those people or at the airport or something, or in an elevator and just like, oh my God, get me out of here.
50 Shades!
That's 20 minutes of this movie! So eventually...
50 Shades of bickering.
So eventually he's like, you're not going. She's like, why not? He's like, listen, hasn't it struck you as odd that this guy has had 3 secretaries who all quit without 2 weeks' notice, all within like 2 months of each other? And she's like, I can handle my damn self. And I'm, wait, what? She like, here's the thing. If she wants to say I can handle myself, like, I know jujitsu or something, or I can kick him in the balls like anyone else, that's fine. But it's like she's saying this as something like, oh, I don't need to worry about it. Like, he's not going to do anything. And I'm like, really? Because I think Christian Grey just gave you some proof that he is. So she goes back up there, and then Rapey McGee is like, so you coming to New York? And she's like, yeah, no, I decided not to. And he's like, okay, why don't you take a seat? Sit right there. And she's like, oh, okay.
When
like,
I said coming, New York. No, sorry.
No, he basically says that. It isn't even like innuendo. He's just like, yeah, I think you need to take this job seriously because I just totally want to fucking bone you. And like she basically gets up and he like goes full rapey McGee and like shuts the door in front of her. And he's like, I don't think you get this.
She's like, joke's on you, I'm totally into this kind of sorta, just don't spank me.
Yeah, nobody else is in the office, and he's just sitting there like, was Christian Grey got? Down again, like this and that, and like it literally, I'm just like, oh hey, we are 1 second away from a rape scene, and like I don't need to see that, I don't get off on that, but I'm like, well, we're like halfway through the movie, at least it'll get interesting one way or another, and then all of a sudden, like she just kicks him in the balls and runs. I'm like, okay, so she runs off into Christian Grey's arms, and like this is part of the thing is everyone's like,
I mean, it's like, okay, I take care of myself. Okay, you did.
No, you can't.
You were
obviously.
right. It's like, but wait,
Yeah.
what?
And this is what bothers me is Christian
What did she
Grey.
think? Take care of yourself, man. It's like, I can kick him in the balls, but it's like, but you lose your job, and obviously this guy's gonna go after you.
In the
so
book,
it's like, why?
Yeah, in the book, and I think what should be in the film is Christian Grey is a creeper. And everyone's like, oh, he's still creepy, he's weird. Brad kept calling him he's like a serial killer. And the funny thing is, the movie does such a great job of making the other characters around them so awful that it ends up that Christian Grey keeps looking like the hero. And I'm like, I should not be rooting for this guy. Like, this shouldn't be happening. But at the end of the movie, I'm just like, man, it seems like he may be the only sane one here. The guy who likes to just string up girls
I
and
think
BDSM.
they're just all
and,
crazy.
Oh, no, they're all crazy. But I'm saying that is a filmmaker fail if you come out of it like, oh, maybe he's the sanest one here. Because, like, everybody else is just like, I'm like, at least he's got contracts. I don't know. Like, and that's wrong. That's what bothers me about the movie. I'm just like, I should not be coming out of this feeling like that. Like, there was something off about this movie. So that guy, he basically buys out the dude's company. And all of a sudden now she's running the show. They're just like, well, you were just a secretary, but now that your douchebag boss is gone, and we don't like, why don't you just run this publishing company now?
I feel like his company will go bankrupt by this point because he's making so many crazy decisions that don't make sense.
There's some stupid scene where she's like in a board meeting and it's like fucking Selena Kyle and Batman Returns like, I have a question, more like an answer. I mean, stupid corn dog. And they're like, what is it, Miss Steele? Like, you know, it would have been great if Christopher Walken was there. I'm afraid we haven't properly housebroken Miss Steele. I was told Christian was working on it. But, and she's like, well, why don't we, instead of like trying to go for the same old thing, like get some new authors and like 18 to 24-year-old demographic, like the most bullshittiest, like something the chart guys
You're genius!
Yeah,
right?
the chart guys would have been like, we've known that since the dark ages.
18 to 24, it's like, you know what I think would be a good market for movies like 13-year-old boys? Is anyone tapping that demographic at all?
Comic book movies.
Yeah.
Has anybody done that yet? Comic book movies? And literally, that's what the boss is like. He's like, I like the way you think. It's like, you know what? I think we don't need a replacement. I think you are the replacement. And then the guy,
God.
no, and there was this douchebag guy who was just all like looking at her like, and as they leave, he's just like, great idea. Like, respect amongst enemies. I'm like, this is such, I'm like, oh my God.
You know what this reminds me of? It really, I give more credit in the movie Big when Tom Hanks says, couldn't they turn instead of buildings and machines, couldn't they turn into bugs? Because I'm like, that was a good idea. And it's like, it's actually a really good idea, and I like that.
Take that, only make it an obvious idea.
Can't the robots be made of metal? Metal! That's genius! I like that. It's like, how fucking course!
How about instead of selling cardboard boxes, we make giant robots that transform into things? Like, that's what she did. So, okay, and one last thing. This is gonna depress you.
Oh no. I'm prepared.
Guess who's in this movie?
I don't know.
The one, the only, Vicky Vale.
Kim Basinger, really?
Kim Basinger is in this movie.
She was in a movie kind of like this, wasn't she, with Mickey Rourke? Wasn't it also like she gets strung up and stuff? Wasn't she? I want to say there was a movie. It's the scene with like they parody in Hot Shots, I think, with like the bear. Shit.
Yes,
I might get that wrong. There was a time in like the 80s, early 90s where there was just a lot of like quote unquote risque, sexy movies.
Oh no, that's the other thing about this film. That the 80s and 90s did this shit all the time, which fascinates me because, like, on the one hand, this film is awful. On the other hand, I'm like, well, I'm glad we're getting erotic thrillers back in the mainstream. I just want actual erotic thrillers back in the mainstream.
Both erotic and a thriller.
Yeah. This is neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim Basinger, she looks... Dude, don't see it. You'll cry.
Oh, really?
You'll cry.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well,
she's always looked pretty good. Yeah, the more I think, I haven't seen her in a while.
I feel like this is a combination of she's kind of Botoxed up. She's in her 60s now, I think, but the lines are awful. But between the makeup, she's got a Donald Trump sheen. There's an orange. There is an orange sheen going on. A slight essence of Cheeto or Doritos, maybe. Between that, so between the makeup, between the costume design, and between the hairstylist, and these were all listed in the credits. I kind of sat through the credits, just bored, and like apparently like Miss Basinger has like 12 credits, like costume designer for Miss Basinger, hairstylist for Miss Basinger,
even in Batman,
makeup for Miss Basinger.
They had all of those. Like she was very specific, I guess.
So,
but she usually looked good.
For some reason, all of these people decided, we need to go for heroin addict Barbie.
No.
Like, that's all I was just like, it looks like an old Barbie if she was a heroin addict. Like, it's just
you said it was like Botox and like there was work done. And
she's
stuff,
got like,
right?
she's got like these, her cheeks are way high and just.
Why can't, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I know there's a thought, it's like, oh, you need to look young, but it's like, well, why can't you just age? I mean,
every time she talks, this is all I see. She barely moves her lips.
Why can't they just age?
You think Mr. Gray,
plastic?
But you don't. I was there for him originally. Like, and like when she moves, it's very robotic. Like her whole head is like, She looks, she's slowly turning into Cillian Murphy, I think is what's going on. It's getting a Scarecrow type thing going 28 days later.
To me, it's like, it's pretty easy. It's like you either just age naturally. Like, even if you don't age great, it'll be authentic, it'll be real, and big shock, you have to rely on your acting. And second, don't do drugs. Yeah. Because that'll fuck up your aging.
And I'm not, and the funny thing is, I'm not one of those guys like, I don't like age shaming, I don't like body shaming. It's more because it looks so unnatural. Like, whatever is going on, and I'm not saying it may not necessarily be her, maybe the makeup, but however they film her in this, it just looks bad. And she plays the crazy aunt. And all of their scenes are basically just Dakota Johnson looking at Kim Basinger, just like, I don't like you because you abused him as a child. And she's like, I showed him the way the world really was. And like, it's just this
so she's Eminem's mom.
Fucking conversation again and again at every family event they go to, which is all this movie is family events and dates. Really boring dates. And occasionally a sex scene that's not even that good. Every event they go to is like that until at the very end, finally, like, Christian Grey proposes. Now, keep in mind, apparently, this has only been, like, 3 or 4 weeks. According to my wife, that's what she says it is in the book. She's like, in the books, all this happens in 5 weeks. So he proposes, and, like, finally, like, Kim Basinger comes out, it's like, you think you know him, you know this and that, and, like, Dakota Johnson's just like, splash, like throws water on her face, and for a second I was like, oh shit, she's gonna melt.
I'm not gonna lie, it's okay in my head.
It's gonna be that scene with the Joker and actual Batman. It's like, oh, this has gone full circle. Kim Basinger, I'm melting. But no, and then like Christian Grey comes out and I'm just like, ooh, this is gonna go where? I'm like, cat fight. And nothing. Christian Grey comes out, he's like, leave. And then, like, that's it.
Wait, to Anastasia or the aunt?
To the aunt. And I'm just like, what? And like, yeah, they're all like, get out of our house. You've caused enough damage. It's not even a shouting match. Like, if it were like a drop down Jerry Springer shouting match, that would have been fucking amazing. No, it's just like, we would very much appreciate it if you would please leave our house now. Thank you very much. I'm like, ooh.
That was intense.
Oh, there's a helicopter crash.
Yeah, I heard that doesn't go anywhere.
So he takes, like, one of his friends, who's a chick. Apparently she's, like, Anna's totally all right with this. They go on some business trip where they're coming back. They're over Mount St. Helens. Because it's the Seattle area, I guess. You gotta get your shot of Mount St. Helens in there. So they do that, and out of nowhere, it's like, and Aruga. He's like, oh, God, okay, all right, we're going down. Oh, mayday. And just see the smoking helicopter.
That's the alarm clock to wake you up. It just reminds you you're watching
a movie. They are, like, going nose first into this, like, creek, like, rapids, and you just see this chopper round the corner just, And then it just cuts away. And I'm like, oh, well, Dad. I'm like, no way. I'm like, no fucking way.
So we don't even see the crash. You just see him going
that
down?
crash you see in the trailer. Sir not appearing in this picture.
Bullshit.
Not in the movie. Not in the movie. The last thing you see is that chopper goes around a fucking corner. Yeah, disappears right around your head. The next scene, some news thing where they're just like, Christian Grey has crashed. The millionaire BDSM enthusiast who's dating some weird chick has crashed in the middle of nowhere, and we don't know where he is. And
right, he's fine.
oh, get this.
Okay.
Get this. You couldn't write a scene better than this. So they're all watching. There's Anastasia Steele on the couch. Oh, Christian Grey. There's the mother, like, oh, Christian Grey. And everything. The friends are like, he'll be okay. He's Christian Grey. He always survives. He knows rope tricks. He'll be able to get out of any canyon he crashes in.
Like Indiana Jones, he'll take out his whip like Indiana Jones. Grab a mountain.
He always carries his spreader. He always carries his spreader bar around. He can use that to beat animals, or he can make a snare trap with the rope. And like, so they're all saying like, "Oh my god!" And then like on the news. So this has all been like 2 minutes of screen time of them just like freaking out over it. It's on the news. It's like, we are receiving word. This just in: Christian Grey is fine. He has been found alive. He is heading back to Seattle. Knock, knock. I'm not making this up. Literally, as the guy says he's heading back to Seattle right now, door opens, and he just fucking walks in. Like, not even cleaned up, like, dirty.
He
like,
still got smoke on him.
Yeah, practically smoking. Just walks in, and like it's almost like they didn't notice. For a second I'm like, are they seriously gonna do this? That would be amazing if they did this. I thought they were all gonna be at the couch. He's gonna like come up behind the couch like Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade when they're staring over the canyon and be like, hey, what are y'all watching?
Like,
but no,
like,
like,
it's just like, will you marry me?
they hug him right away. Like, okay, so I'm like, so wait, that was like just 5 minutes. That was a total waste. I'm like, honey, was that in the book? She's like, yep.
Of course it was. Only something that stupid and ridiculous would be in the book.
So now the very telling thing is, I'm going to have to, oh God, I don't want to end up in hot water here, but I'm just going to report on what I saw, okay? This is what I saw. In the screening I saw, a number of middle-aged women were getting all hot and bothered over the sex scenes. However, the two scenes that got the biggest reaction out of the audience, of mostly women, do you want to take a guess what it would be?
The helicopter and the gunshot?
No. Now that just woke us up.
The opening and ending credits? I don't know.
He gives her a gift of like $26,000, and the audience is like, oh.
And then the proposal.
And there's so 3 scenes.
I was gonna
then
say.
like a pretty, like, I forget, it was a necklace. I don't remember what it was. I'm a guy. I don't care. But it was just like, again, I just heard these audible, oh. And then the final one was when he opens it up and there's like this ring, the most comically like, it's like 18, it's like 14 diamonds encrusted with 38 miniature diamonds on top of a giant diamond that then has 14 rubies glued to it. Like, it's just, yeah, it's just.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I really want to see this ring. Yeah, I'm a dude, and I'm like, oh my god!
Imagine a diamond encrusted ring pop that was all jewel. That's like open it up, and I was just like, damn. Like, it was so cartoonish, like so comically ridiculous looking.
Yeah, but the box only goes boom.
But every woman in the audience just like just these audible gasps. I'm like, you know what? You didn't need the sex scene. This is the porn right here. It's
ring. Like the romance novel, yeah.
Yeah, that got the bit. That in the screening I saw, that was the biggest reaction.
Commitment.
Was that? oh, it makes me so hot. Oh. Yeah, that was the biggest reaction. I just sat there like, my wife heard it too, and I just turned to my wife. I said, well, I think I know what all these women want. I'm like, either a divorce or a marriage proposal.
No, when I saw one of the Twilight
and I was kind of like, I felt very sad in that moment. I was like, oh wow, that was telling. It's like, these people must be miserable. Like, I was just, it's the one guy there. I'm like, oh, I just want to hug every lady. They're like, I'm so sorry, honey. Like I'm sorry. Like you'll find the right guy. Like
I guess. I mean, I think it could be like when a guy's watching an action, wherever anyone's watching an action movie, you're just like, ooh, ah! I mean, it doesn't mean your life's necessarily boring.
Maybe that's their fuck yeah groovy moment. Like,
yeah, I mean,
Bruce Campbell blowing a deadite set up with a shotgun. We're like, yeah! Him opening up in the ring, and the chicks are like, yeah! I don't know.
In whatchamacallit, one of the Twilight movies ends with like him proposing, and all the girls and all these like, oh! You know, I mean, yeah.
So then the movie ends with, I forget if that's where the actual real proposal is, but they go to like the greenhouse where they met or something, and then they're like kissing and all lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden there's fireworks outside, and she's like, did you do this? And it's just like, bitch, who else would? What do you like? Obviously, so they all go outside and the family's there and they're all watching the fireworks. It's like, yay, fireworks! I guess they're happy. Cut to Rapey McGee watching the fireworks from a distance in the shadows.
Get you next time, Gadget.
Fuck yeah, that's what happens. That just would have made it perfect. No, instead he's like smoking a cigarette. He's like, and then he's looking at a picture that he took from some event he went to where it's like Christian Grey's in the picture, and he like takes the cigarette over Grey's face like,
oh my god. Like 80s evil CEO cliche.
It was like the popcorn guy in Free Willy. Yeah. And that's it. End credits. And I just sat there, and it was just like, I literally shouted, I'm like, where's the rest of it?
Oh, please, don't say that, man. They'll actually give you more.
No, that's true. More? I just couldn't believe it. I mean, the movie, it didn't end, it just stopped. Like, the ending to the first film, in a way, I'm just like, okay, that kind of stopped too, but I'm like, okay, at least I'm like, I could see how it's just like, you know, Christian, Anna, like, clean, like, I'm like, okay, that still felt like, I'm like, I wish that had a better
I actually thought that was
yeah, I'm like,
almost a clever ending.
It felt like an ending. This one, literally, it's like, we're watching fireworks, the guy puts out the back to fireworks, bronk, credits. I'm like, what? It wasn't even like a Star Wars film where it needed Jar Jar sitting there in front of it needed Jar Jar in front of the fireworks shouting, "We saw free! We saw 50 Shades Free!" Like there was just nothing that said this is the ending. It just stopped in the middle of nowhere.
It doesn't sound like anything says it's darker either. 50 Shades Darker. It's like, how?
Oh no, and that's the best thing. The final sex scene is like, it's just the most basic, like, he whips out like one of his ties, and then like, again, the lady's next to me, oh, the tie, like, sexy, like, just ties her hands up above her head, like, not it, like, loose, like, I swear to God, it was just like falling, like, okay, like, this is like just cartoonish, like, just ties her hands loosely above her head, and then he's like, you ready for this? You ready for this? She's like, oh, what? And I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna get real now. Like, he like goes and brings out like a bottle or something. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like hot wax or something. Is this gonna be like, it's like, what's he gonna do? It's like,
I'm
this is gonna,
drunk.
No, it's like, this is gonna hurt. Like, this is gonna be crazy. He like pours it in his hands, like pours it over her body.
Just oil.
It's fucking massage oil. I just sat there, my jaw was on the ground. I was like,
Whoa, stand back.
I was
we
just
got
like,
massage
I know,
oil,
I'm like massage oil. I'm like, ooh, dare we? No.
Do we dare?
Yeah, and that was like the final sex scene. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't even softcore porn. Like, this is like, you could probably open up like one of those like books on therapeutic massage and see some tits and some massage oil somewhere at least once. Like, ugh. So yeah, that's pretty much the movie's plot in a nutshell.
That's pretty fucking stupid.
It was pretty fucking stupid. Now, what makes it worse? Because, oh yeah, it gets worse. You know how I said
oh, there's a trailer, right? They do like a Back to the Future 2 thing where they have a trailer at the end?
Oh, there's a trailer, and I was very disappointed. We sat there, waited for the trailer. That's how I knew it took at least...
Was it like after the credits? Or?
That's how I knew it took at least 50 people to make sure Kim Basinger looked like heroin addict Barbie. There's a trailer, and all I will say is the trailer looks awful, and I was very disappointed because, as I told my wife, I'm just like, oh, I thought it was gonna be Christian Grey with the Avengers eating shawarma, and then and then like tying Black Widow up or something.
Well, she's technically the spider, so she should be the one, the weapon.
Hey, turn around, fair play. All right. So, what made this movie worse is every single level of filmmaking in this film is incompetent. Like, the first film is, we were talking about it. It's like, oh, these people want jobs afterwards. Like, they were trying to make a good movie. And I said, and now I realize, I was wrong. like Obi-Wan Kenobi, I was wrong. I thought that if you simply made the movie worse and completely incompetent, it would be batshit crazy enough to be interesting to watch. I was wrong. Because what happened here is they took all the competence out of making just a good film. So at least you watch the first one, you're like, okay, the plot shit, but it's
it's shot
nicely. Music by Danny Elfman's all right. Like every single of it's directed all right. The acting's okay at best. It's just the dialogue and the story's awful. This one, oh my god, they removed everything that made the first film watchable, like as a piece of filmmaking.
But none of the fun bad.
None of the fun. The biggest thing that's missing is that stupid inner monologue she has. Because I was trying to think, I'm like, what made the book so funny when we were reading it?
Yeah.
It was those inner
Because nothing happens in the story.
He rubbed up against my sex. Yeah. Oh, my throbbing inner corridor. Oh, like...
my inner goddess is about to explode.
Explode. Yeah, none of that is in this. And I'm like, so now we've taken anything that made the movie remotely watchable and have replaced it with nothing. And this movie is just nothing. The cinematography is fucking atrocious. Like, it's... Okay, you'll have to put this up on the screen, but
Okay, this is already a really long video. I don't want to look through a lot of it, but I know the picture you're talking about, so I'm going to act it out right here. So this is kind of like what they do in Les Mis, but, like, much worse. So normally when somebody's talking, okay, like, you know...
you're closer, so you...
Yeah, okay, so there's a person, like, let's say it's a shot of me talking, so I should be, you know, over here justifying there should be blank room right here talking, but that's not what they do. In the shot, the person talking is right here, and there's all this blank space this way. That makes no sense. And I look like I'm about to eat you.
No, it's everybody, so if... Yeah, okay, so imagine Anastasia Steele.
Yeah, like...
I'm looking at Anastasia Steele. All the dialogue shots look like this. So you would just have, like, a bunch of DVDs in the background. Yeah, all of this thing. And here's the thing. 80% of the movie is shot like that. And it is all boring dialogue scenes. And the weird thing about it is, by the time I'm done with it, I'm more interested in what the people around them are talking about and doing. So all of it's like that.
Well, they're mostly in focus in the background.
They're not in focus. They're out of focus. I'm looking at mostly unfocused negative space and his stupid face just on the far corner of the screen. So 80% is shot like that. The shots that aren't like that just aren't composed at all. Half the time I don't know what I'm looking at. The editing is nonsensical. Okay, we lived in Seattle, right? She lives in an apartment, like Christian Grey's apartment is somewhere downtown Seattle, one of the big tall buildings there. So there's some random scene. And then out of nowhere, it cuts to a scene of the Space Needle. Not a far off establishing shot of the Space Needle. We're talking like a drone shot of the Space Needle coming in on the restaurant. Like, this is like the restaurant here, like... I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking, well, we're going to be in the Space Needle now. They're obviously on a date in the Space Needle or something, which seems kind of touristy and kitschy for a billionaire, but whatever. So all of a sudden, no. Cut to her in Christian Grey's apartment, somewhere in downtown Seattle. I'm like, why were we going to the Space Needle then? Like, who does that?
I'm not sure I'd go to the Space Needle.
What sort of an establishing shot is that? The sex scenes don't end, they just stop. No, I don't think they ever even climax, ever. You get half of an O-face, and then it cuts away.
Oh, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just, cut. And I'm like, where's the rest of it?
That would be too far. I'll be 50 Shades of Darkest.
Yeah, Danny Elfman's just slumming it. It's like he just like was like, here, I've got a disc of like incidental music from like Good Will Hunting and a Civil Action and some of the lesser burn. He's like, here, take whatever you want. I have no fucks to give.
Nobody's gonna listen to it. They're just gonna listen to the pop songs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The pop songs play throughout most of the sex scenes. So, and that was maybe the only humorous thing because the pop songs are so hilariously appropriate and inappropriate. Like, it just made the scenes funnier. That was the only humor I got out of it. Like, every single level that this film should work just as a basic movie outside of the screenplay sucks. And when it's all done, it's just boring. Don't see it thinking it's going to be so bad it's good. It is just dull. There is a scene in the middle where Christian Grey and Anna are talking to each other at dinner, and I swear there's like 30 seconds where they just stare at each other. And like fucking Manos the Hands of Fate, the whole theater's silent and they're just staring at each other. And I literally
do something.
I did. I shouted from the front. I said, do do something. The two ladies next to me burst out laughing. They just like looked at me like, and I'm like, no, really, do anything. This is so boring. So don't see it. It's not even worth it. I've told my wife now, I'm like, you're on your own for the third one, and she hated this film too. She's like, you know what, I don't even have the energy. The books were hilarious. Like, we know they're garbage. And this represents the BDSM community, right? No shit. Like, we all know that. And if you don't know that, then educate those people. But we know this is garbage, and that's why it was entertaining.
They're hugely entertaining. They're so entertaining.
So this couldn't even be that. It couldn't be that. It is probably, in my opinion, it's going to be tough to find a film worse than this year. And I didn't think that about the last one. The last one...
First one's just bad.
Yeah,
but
the first one was not the worst film of that year. This one, though, I'm like, this is going to be tough. You're going to have to work really hard to make a film worse than this. You're going to have to work hard to make a film worse than this in the next 5 years. Like, that is how boring this shit is. It is that boring. I dare you to watch it.
No.
Dare you.
Sounds boring.
Yeah.
The B in BDSM stands for boring.
Yeah, boring.
Boring, dumb, stupid, moronic.
Yeah, that's what the BDSM stands for. So yeah, don't do it. Don't believe it. This is my warning to you. Just avoid it. Go see Lego Batman. Go see John Wick. They're all on my list next. Trust me. And we have learned our lesson. These will never be so bad they're good. They are just bad. Bad! There it is.